James Philip O'Donnell, and my rank is Lieutenant Commander, U.S. Navy Reserve. You land at Kingsville, you go over to the happy hour, you get up the next morning, you pack your bags, and you're going directly to your RAG. That's an acronym for Replacement Air Group. And you now know how to land a certain airplane on an aircraft carrier in the daytime. What you do at the Replacement Air Group, the RAG, it's another few months of training. They teach you to fly the airplane you're going to be flying off the ship in the squadron you're going to be sent to for the first time. And you're going to also culminate that program by going out and do it at night. So that's what's left of the program before you go to the squadron. So I reported to NAS Naval Air Station Oceana, Virginia Beach, Virginia, which is just down the road here. And I went to the Replacement Air Group's squadron, and there I was introduced to my fleet aircraft, the A-4 Skyhawk, and I began once again an intensive training program of more rockets and bombs and training and everything. And in my case, it was culminated by a nuclear weapon delivery pilot training. That training was very specific. It was about 3 or 4 months, and by the time I came along, of course, Hiroshima and Nagasaki had only been 15 years before. The Cold War was happening in full force. The doctrine the U.S. developed to fight communism was called MAD, and that acronym stood for Mutually Assured. That doctrine that the Navy applied to combat was called MAD, and that stood for Mutually Assured Destruction. That is to say, the Navy by that time, I had a whole stockpile of nuclear warheads, as did Russia, and you might annihilate us, but you will be annihilated in return. That was the doctrine. So anyhow, they started me training, and you got to study all about nuclear weapons and everything. And the important thing from my standpoint to mention about this to people that don't study nuclear weapons that much, which is who needs it for most people. By the time I came along, the weapons that wiped out 80,000 people, twice 160,000 people, they were almost pop guns as far as power. By the time I came along, 15 years, they had gone from fission to fusion, and I had a hydrogen nuclear weapon which was orders of magnitude more destructive. Here I found myself as a 23-year-old naval aviator carrying a weapon that could wipe out 10 million people. Big responsibility. So anyhow, we go through classroom, we study nuclear weapons, and we take a big test and everything, and they show you a nuclear weapon and show you how to pre-flight it and show you how to arm it, and eventually one day, they hope you don't, but in that time, I'm going forward. I'm on the Enterprise, I'm in the Mediterranean, and there's a nuclear aircraft there, and if I'm the duty pilot and they say launch, in 5 minutes I'm off with a nuclear weapon. I've got my target folder and I'm heading east, somewhere in Russia. So it happens fast.